Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase we're going to be looking at an awesome figure, Overlord. Overlord had two releases. First and foremost was in 1988 under the Japanese line Super God Master Force, and then he was later released in 1991 in Europe, just again as part of the Transformers European and Australasian markets. So quite a rare figure, a very impressive figure as you're about to see. So what we're going to do with this video, we're going to have a look at him in his robot mode. You see that I'm lucky enough to have two of them. So we've got the individual parts there as well. So we've got the Giga Tank and the Mega Jet. Unbeknown to some, they actually do combine, which I'll show you shortly how to make the Mega Jet. But then they also do combine to make the battle station as well. So he is a very versatile figure, and he's fantastic. To be fair, he is quite rare, and unfortunately he does command quite a lot of money on the secondary market, probably due again to his rarity and the size of him. To give you an idea of how big he is, I've got my trusty white Magnus cab here just for you to have a look, and I'm going to pop that there so you can see, yeah, he's not even up to the hips. So that's obviously the original G1 cab, and he's nowhere near the size of that. So as usual, what we're going to do, if you're lucky enough to find one of these, I'm going to point out things that you need to be aware of, and I'll show you all his accessories, and of course we'll have a look at the box as well. So we might as well start with everything that comes with him first and foremost. So he's got the large gun, which is in his hand, and that looks like this. He's got the two ramps, which are on his legs as shin guards, and they come like this as well, just two ramps. He's got another ramp, which you can't see yet until we put him in base mode. So this is the thinner ramp. He's got a mini car that you can put either one of the Power Masters or God Masters inside. He's got two radar dishes, which are these, and again you won't see these until I put them into base mode. He's got a gun that you can put in base mode and sit it on top of the jet, and he's got a radar dish on here that you can sit inside the tank, but it also fits inside the base mode. And of course he's got the two Power Masters, and if we're talking Super God Master Force, Giga and Mega, there they are. So obviously important things with these is the fact that their arms and legs are attached, and good chrome on the backs. We've got gold and silver chrome there. Let me just pop them to one side. And of course we've got three missiles that come on a sprue, and they're pretty much the same as the Metroplex ones as well. So he's got an abundance obviously of accessories, so that's why again he's quite hard to get hold of in the secondary market. So what we'll do, we'll have a look at the individual parts to him first. So this is the tank mode, and again this is huge as well. You can detach the turret obviously for when we come into transforming them into the modes. As it's got white plastic, be aware of some fade and things with that, but again this is just a huge tank. And then this there at the top, that's where you put the Power Master or God Master, because you need that to split these in part. So as I say, in Japan they were known as God Masters, but then in Europe they were known as Power Masters. So that's the big difference with them, but you still need to use them to transform them into their different modes. So this is the spaceship, and this again, this is huge. In fact, I'll quickly transform the Magnus cab just to give you an idea of just how big this is. This video obviously has taken a long time to get set up. There's so many parts and things that come with him. But if I can move this out of the way now quickly. So there's the jet, which you can see is falling over, but is also huge. And then there's the little Magnus cab right at the front. It's not staying typically. There we go. You can see the difference, the length. I mean, the jet's 2.5 times the length. Things to be aware of with the jet is that these wings, they can get loose and flap down, same as the tail fins at the top. And then you can see here again as well, where you'd need to put the Power Master to get it to transform. So lots going on with this figure, lots and lots. I'm just going to pop this up here, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to transform him into the mode that isn't even in the instructions. So this is the Mega Jet, and that will be the tank and the jet combined, and then we'll come back and have a look at that. Okay then, so I've combined them into the Mega Jet, and once again this isn't in the instructions, but this is where you've combined the tank to the jet. It's not too hard, it's not too difficult to work out the transformation. I'm sorry for doing it off camera, but again, obviously with the price of these and the rarity of them, I don't want to do it just in case I damage it. And you've literally just separated the tank and attached it to the back of the jet, but this makes it huge. And this was what they actually used in the cartoon whenever it flew off. So as I say, in the Japanese cartoon Super God Master Force, you would see them do that. Again, it's not in the instructions, it's known as the Mega Jet mode. And of course, please use the God Masters or Power Masters to be able to do the transformations, because the last thing you want to do is break that. Again, here's the Magnus cab, just to give you an idea of how big it is. So we've got 1, 2, 3, yeah, it's 4 lengths of the Magnus cab, so that is literally how big that is, to put it into perspective. What I'm going to do now, then I'm going to change him into his battle station mode, and this is where we'll attach pretty much all of the things to it, and you'll see how impressive that looks as well. Okay then, so I've transformed him into his battle station mode, and I've had to come off the tripod onto hands-free just to fit it all on screen. And again, this is a very impressive battle station mode. I'll come right up to the front first and foremost, so you can see obviously where you've got the main part, which is the jet that's turned into the middle, that's enabled to be the main platform. And then of course you've got the ramps from the shin guards either side, which are attaching it to either side of the tank. So on this side of the tank, you've got a repair arm that's been tucked away, hidden inside on the back of the leg when he's a robot. And then we've attached the gun that we put on the top of the jet there to the back. And then we come along across, there's that thin ramp that wasn't attached when he was in robot mode at all. But what I've actually done is I've put the Power Masters inside the little car. They don't have to go in there, but they just fit really well. So these can go, of course, up and down all the ramps. On the other side, we've got the other part of the tank. And again, there was this gun, which has folded up parts inside. And then you attach it with the radar, and then the main gun at the back looking like a transmission tower. But yeah, overall, I think this is a fantastic battle station mode. Works really well with the figures. Obviously works even better with all the Micromasters as well. But for the time, as I say, when it initially came out in '88, part of the Super God Master Force, I think it was quite groundbreaking, to be fair. And then luckily enough in Europe, we managed to get it three years later. I'll just get the Magnus cab again, because it's at hand to show you how big it is. That's why it won't fit on the screen. So with the ramps and everything, it really does play a huge part in making it a real big battle station. What we're going to do now then, I'm just going to go back to the last bits on the robot, just to show you how all the little Power Masters and Power Masters and God Masters as they're known, all work. And then of course, we'll do the usual, we'll have a quick look at the box art and the packaging with it. Great stuff. Okay then, so we've gone back to the main robot mode, and that's just because there's a couple of little things I want to finish off with making you aware of. The head does spin, it does rotate, so you can turn it around backwards and forwards for when it's in that jet mode to keep it covered. But because of that, and I have seen quite a lot of them listed on eBay with heads completely snapped off, so be careful with these. They do, as I say, turn and rotate, but you need to be careful with that. Same as with the cones, because these cones fold back. Sometimes they're missing and they've come off, so you need to be aware of that. And then the main reason why I've put it in this mode, and I've put it a bit close to the camera for you, so I can show you just how the Power Masters, God Masters work in the chest. So if we fold out the flap there, we take this, and then let's hope I can do this. And then we're going to lean in. I'm going to get it in first, make sure I'm not blocking all the camera. And then if I push this forward, you'll see the cannon. There you go, blast out. Oh, and the God Master's typically not going to stay in. If it doesn't stay in, I'll just carry on as normal. But again, I must implore you that you really do need to get these. That's better. Just to do it, just in case you damage them. It's just not worth it. I've seen people trying to do it with their fingers and things like that. And yeah, you can make it work, but you do run the risk of damaging and breaking it. So if we pull this out, what you're keeping an eye on now is you're keeping an eye on these blasters. And these will pop out. It's not as obvious as the one on the other side. But just if we do this, there you go, it's gone straight away. And then it clicks perfect. There you go. So, as I've already said, hugely impressive figure. He is, and not just due to his size, but yeah, very good. Playability is amazing. He's a massive figure as it is. He's obviously a jet and a tank in one, as well as a battle station. And as I've just shown you, even though it's not in the instructions, he's also a super jet as well. Okay, let's move these out of the way and let's have a look at the artwork. Again, I do only have the European version at the moment. I haven't managed or lucky enough yet to get the Japanese version. So here we go. The big difference between the Japanese and the European versions is that they call the figures Energon figures, whereas, as I say, with Japan, they're Power Masters, well, they're God Masters actually, but they're called Energon figures here. The artwork's really cool. The picture of Overlord there's fantastic. There again, you can see on the left hand side the jet and the tank, and then there's your two Power Masters in there. So if we spin it round, the artwork on the back's pretty good, to be honest. It's ironically enough, it's got the, as is known in Japan as Road Caesar, but I think these are the motivators when they're in Europe. It should say at the top there, and you've got a little story here, and it's just obviously there's Overlord and he's up against the motivators, but obviously in Japan these were known as Road Caesar and they all combined. But the good thing about this is you can see Overlord there, and there's his battle station mode as well. So again, very cool figure, quite tough to get hold of. So if you're lucky enough to get one, obviously look after it. But what you can do, because there's obviously so many pieces to it, there's no reason why you just can't keep buying them bit by bit and then eventually just build one up yourself. That might be a good idea. Start it off as a little project. I've done that with a few figures. I'm obviously doing it with Raiden right at this very moment. But here we go, I've gone hands-free again. So let's finish up. You can see what a fantastic figure it is. You've got the jet, the tank, and of course the main robot. I hope you enjoyed looking at him. I hope it was educational for you. And I want you all to take care and subscribe for more.